What is imagination? The ability to think up new ideas that no one else has ever really thought of before. And, sometimes people actually manage to imagine the same thing as someone else at essentially the same time. Is it just this innate ability to create your own ideas, or is it actually something more than that? Some ability to perceive more than we actually know? Well, to discuss this, I'm going to start by taking a look at what happened in the 20th century. So, through several different scientists and mathematicians like Paul Dirac, we've basically discovered, created slash discovered quantum mechanics. So, some of the basic principles of this, talking about how if you had a specific particle, you'd expect it to do normal things. You'd expect it to obey all of Newton's laws of mechanics, all of everything that scientists were working on before the 1900s. So everyone expected it to behave normally. But obviously there were things which weren't quite being explained. There are a few effects where we were having particles diffracting, like electrons diffracting through double slits, which didn't quite make sense to some people. So what was suggested was that if you take any particular particle, then it can obey the standard ideas. It can follow Newton's laws of mechanics. It can do what you'd expect it. If you hit it one way, you'd expect it to travel thusly. But obviously there were some cases where this wasn't happening. So they said, okay, maybe if it gets hit, it's most likely to travel that way, but in some cases it might go off in other directions. It might jump backwards, it might not move at all, it might move in all sorts of different directions. So it's possible, but it's just really unlikely. Very, very small chances of these different things happening. So in the majority of cases you've got the object moving. So let's say you had, if you had a single electron, you'd expect that to move off when it gets hit by, say, another electron. But obviously it might not. It might do what I just said and jump a different way. But if you take a big object, like if I had a ball and I was throwing it to someone, I'd obviously expect the ball to fly to them. We're not going to see the ball flying off in all sorts of different directions because it's just so unlikely. It's ridiculously small chances of that happening. So really it's about, quantum mechanics really focuses on when you've got very, very small amounts of things. But what came from this, all of this work that mathematicians and physicists were doing, was that the many worlds interpretation, the idea that there's more than one universe like us. There are millions of different, or infinite, possible realities all existing everywhere around us, that are like our own, but, different in some way. Some of them are probably very similar to ours. There might be tiny differences. I might be blonde or have blue eyes. You might not be watching this video. So those are just some of the small differences. It might be completely different. Gravity might not exist. We might never have discovered quantum mechanics in that universe. So there are all sorts of different ranges of ideas that you could have. And because the idea that I've taken from this is that there are so many possible realities, so many different universes based on our own or similar, that when you're actually imagining something, it's not that you're thinking of something new, it's more that you're thinking about something inside that universe, as opposed to something inside our own universe. So it's this ability to perceive another reality, if you like. There are lots of other things you could say about this. When you have a dream, if it's quite a strange dream, you might say, oh yes, you wake up in the morning and you think, well, last night I dreamt about a very strange parallel universe where everyone walks on their hands. There are all sorts of different ways of looking at this. But what we can all take comfort in is that no matter how many mistakes we make in this lifetime here, our universe, in some other universe somewhere, there's a you that has done everything right and has never made any mistakes. And we shouldn't be jealous of this other version of ourselves, because it's us. It's just an us that's done everything right. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully you'll stay tuned.